Hello everybody, it's author Sandra Wilson here in the Kindness Kangaroo Library for another kangaroo tale. Today's story is Charlie and Sophie's Great Escape by Farial English. And with all our books, you can check the description below and you will be able to find a link so that you can get a copy of the book yourself. And don't forget to like the video, which picks it as your favorite and sends it into the next round for the Kindness Kangaroo Library Book Award. Here we go everybody, Charlie and Sophie's Great Escape. Charlie and Sophie couldn't wait to go outside. The rain had stopped and the sun was out. Tail wagging with excitement, Charlie circled Nicky and bumped his chin as Nicky bent down to pull on his boots. Nicky whistled for Sophie. "It's time for our walk. Let's go." The soft, wet grass tickled their legs. Sophie stopped to nibble a fresh green stalk while Charlie ran ahead, always wanting to be the first on the trail. He raised his head and sniffed the air to catch the scent of animals that had passed by. Then Charlie heard Nicky exclaim, "I forgot my hat. Wait here." Impatiently, Charlie glanced up to see the boy running back towards the house. Bark, bark, bark! Adventure was right around the corner, and Charlie couldn't wait another minute. He barked at Sophie, and they ran into the woods. The trail was muddy and smelled of earthworms and wet leaves. Charlie bent to sniff a turkey feather lying in the dirt. Another scent tickled his nose. A fox had also been there. A deep chorus of bullfrogs echoed up from the beaver pond, waking the woods with a symphony of musical honks and croaks. Jiggerum, jiggerum. Charlie and Sophie stopped to listen. Somewhere overhead, a chickadee called, "Phoebe, Phoebe." A soft answer floated back on the breeze. "Phoebe, Phoebe." Suddenly, Sophie stopped and stared. There was a big brown deer hiding in the trees. They watched it pull down a branch. Its ears flicked back and forth as it chewed. Charlie moved closer and stepped on a twig. Snap! The deer barked a startled crack and bounded deeper into the woods, tail swishing in alarm. Sophie and Charlie took off on a wild deer chase. Yipping and barking, they flew after the deer. They skidded around trees, jumped over boulders, and splashed through muddy puddles. They would not let that deer get away. They ran and ran, but the deer was stronger and faster. He jumped over an old stone wall and disappeared. Charlie and Sophie finally gave up the chase, tongues hanging out, panting hard. Tired and thirsty, they needed a drink. Sophie raised her nose and took a deep breath. The cool, mossy smell of mud and rotting leaves made her think of a beaver pond. She followed the scent, hoping to find a drink of water. Charlie trotted after her. At the pond, Sophie noticed a turtle sunning itself on a log. She nudged it with her nose, and it slipped into the water. Plop! She dipped her head and lapped noisily. A smell caught Charlie's nose. He sniffed. It was a bird smell, strong and strange. Quietly, he crept forward, peeking between the tall grasses. He saw a nest with 5 large eggs. The strange bird smell was even stronger here. Sophie followed as Charlie moved closer to investigate. There was a sudden flapping of giant wings. Honk! Charlie jumped back in surprise. Water splashed, grasses bent and tore as the huge bird charged at him. Its broad, flat beak shot towards Charlie and nipped his ear. The goose screeched furiously as it chased the dogs away from its nest. Honk! 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 Sophie and Charlie dove into the water. The angry honks, scared barks, and loud splashes attracted other geese protecting nests nearby. Honking fiercely, the big bird, startled, glided rapidly towards the terrified dogs. Spluttering and gasping, Sophie and Charlie pawed at the slimy ground, trying to escape. Squelching through stinky black mud, they clawed their way up the bank and started running. Where was Nicky? Where was home? They slowed to catch their breath. Panting, they stopped to listen. All was quiet. They started walking, sniffing the ground, looking for signs that would lead them home. The woods were dark and gloomy. Storm clouds hid the sun, and the dogs shivered. A big raindrop landed on Charlie's head, and he whined. Sophie nudged him gently and licked his ear. They had to keep searching. Scrambling over a pile of boulders, the dogs hurried along a narrow path. Climbing onto a stone wall for a better view, Charlie suddenly recognized where they were. This was the wall the deer jumped over when it escaped. This trail leading home was on the other side of the wall. A faint smell of wood smoke tickled their noses. From far away, a voice was calling, "Charlie! Sophie! Where are you?" It was Nicky! The dog started running, following his voice. Charlie burst from the woods and saw their farmhouse across the field. He saw Nicky. Ears back, legs pumping, Charlie flew towards him. Nicky turned just as Charlie launched himself into the boy's arms. They fell to the ground in a muddy, laughing heap. Sophie ran circles around them, barking happily. Charlie licked Nicky's face. Curled up in front of the wood stove, Charlie and Sophie fell into a deep sleep. Their great escape was over. They were home. And here it talks about that these adopted dogs, they were adopted as puppies and have lots of adventures. And so it's wonderful to read one of their great adventures, The Great Escape, here in this book. So I hope you enjoyed today's Kangaroo tale, and I hope you join us next time in the Kindness Kangaroo Library when we do another Kangaroo tale.